waiting for some parts to arrive. We're going to clean out the head, clean off the surface of the head, the combustion chambers. And we're going to take a wire wheel to the combustion chambers and then just a wire brush on a flat surface. We'll just use a lighter touch on it because luckily this head looks pretty good. So does the top of the block. It looks very flat. I don't see any visible cracks, gouges, areas of significant rust or anything like that. So I think I lucked out on that. So let's clean up these combustion chambers and then we'll tack the surface of the head. If you're just tuning in, this is a sort of a budget restoration on this 1924 Fordson F Tractor. I'm gonna try not to spend a lot of money on it. This is not going to be a show tractor. I'm going to leave, parts of it rusty. Or if not rusty, I'm just not gonna paint it up shiny and pretty and all that. What little I know about motors, this stuff looks pretty good to me. So I bought a new head gasket for it. Had to buy one valve guide. Because there was one valve actually rusted to the valve guide and it was stuck and it was kind of a bear to get out of the block, but boogered it up in the process. The other 7 valves are good. The retainers and keepers are good. The springs, I went ahead and ordered all new 8 springs because some of them had been in the compressed state for however long this tractor's been sitting, 40 or 50 years, and they compressed, and they just by holding them you could tell they sort of lost their tensile strength. So springs are relatively cheap. What that is. So here's the valve that rusted itself to the valve guide, and you can see in the process of trying to get it out and off, I broke the bottom part of the valve guide and boogered up the valve itself a little bit, but I was able to find one valve and one valve guide, so I went ahead and ordered new. I'm going to do a valve job on all of them anyway, so no big deal. Let me see here. Just gonna put just a little oil on this rag and wipe it down, some of the dust off, see what we can see. One of these little things, cobwebs in the holes or something. So if you notice right here, I'm looking at these little impressions that were evidently made by the valve gasket. They look worse than they are. I mean, I can barely get my fingernail on them. And I did buy a new gasket, so I think we're good. Let me do a little bit more cleaning here. Looks pretty good, I think. Looks pretty good overall. Yeah. I've had these parts, head bolts and valve parts, soaking in parts cleaner for a week maybe. These were all rusty and cruddy, and now they're oily and cruddy. But that's an improvement. So we're going to take the wire wheel and towel to these and get these prepped for installation. If I remember correctly, there's 22 of these suckers. Put all that over here for now. Now all these little valve spring retainer deals. Let's see, I need how many of those? 16 of those. No, I got 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Plus the 4 I bought new is 18. Okay, we're in business. Here's one of the new springs I bought, brand new from the vendor. And here's one of the old ones. You can see this one even got bent a little bit right in here. I don't know if that occurred when I was taking it out or if that was bent just from sitting all those years in a compressed position, but probably when it was removed. But regardless, most of them are like this. They're either a little bit bent and or a little too squishy. So these guys will do the trick. You definitely want your valves to close all the way. Here are the valves themselves. I haven't cleaned these up yet. Maybe we'll do that too. I'm just going to clean the heads with the wire brush, and I'm not going to, obviously don't take a wire brush to the stems because they need to be smooth. But all in all, these look like they're in good shape. You can even still see the Fordson logo on the inside of the valve there. So my plan is to get this valve train reassembled, installed, head back on, new head gasket, new gasket for the valve spring side cover plate. We'll get that put back on and cinched down and sealed up. And then at that point we're going to flush the motor with kerosene. And in this case we're going to use kerosene as a cleaning agent to get out all that, or as much of the old oil sludge as possible that's remaining in the bottom of the block and on the internal parts. They say kerosene works well for that, so I'm just going to put a couple gallons in and rotate it over manually, of course, many times. I'm going to flush it, drain it, and repeat. I just need to do the backs, clean off the stems, make them shiny and pretty. These babies will be ready to install. I'll spend more work on the shafts themselves, getting them shiny and slick, but that's a good start. I got the other one coming in the mail. I got the one valve guide coming in the mail. And so here's the head we just cleaned. I took a wire wheel to the insides here and then a wire brush to the flat surface. Looks much better. Next project will be to perform a similar operation on the engine block itself. Clean the top of the block, top of the pistons, get all the crud off the surface, and when I get the rest of the parts in my mail, we'll be ready to put the head back on. All right, thanks for watching.